I'm gonna go try to clean myself. Make myself presentable on this stage. Yeah. Okay, so that's fine.
Oh, am I with you? You get from right there. We'll get you. You'll be right behind. And you got her back. You'll be right behind her.
considering them at charity. Working there. I'm going to see there might be some
I need two here.
Are we shipment? Right here, that would still be like two. Put some right in front of that. Set up in a cage. All we're doing is last time. This is Katie. Livestream Katie. Right on the front. Because of my sweat.
Get the cheap seats, huh?
They should be emailing you a copy of the script too, if you text if you need it. Did you, maybe you got it?
Yep, I did.
Okay, good. And good evening, everyone. Welcome to a special meeting of the Mason City City Council. We're delighted to have you with us this evening. I'm Mayor Schickel,
The first item of business tonight is a roll call. Diana, would you call the roll?
Lee,
Present.
Adams,
Present.
Latham,
Here.
Yashewski,
Here.
Simmons,
Present.
Hassan.
Here. The next item of business is the adoption of the agenda. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda? Second. We have a motion and a second. Is there discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed, same sign. Welcome to Mason City's annual State of the City address. Here's the state of the city. Teamwork is up, trouble is down. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the City Council, members of our city staff, distinguished guests, friends, citizens of Mason City, let me show you just what I mean. One indicator is economic growth. 4 nationally prominent businesses have chosen Mason City in the past year. It's notable that one of the nation's largest volume quick service restaurants is opening this summer. Construction begins in the spring on the only Chick-fil-A between Ames and Rochester. It's been one of the top restaurants requested in this area for some time. And that's not all. It comes on the heels of the opening of 3 nationally prominent retailers, Old Navy, Five Below, and Ross Dress for Less, anchoring the busy Willow Creek Center out on the west side of Mason City. These new businesses are centered on what I call Mason City's $1 million highway, Iowa 122 West. Our 5-year capital improvement plan calls for $125 million in planned projects, including the reconstruction of Highway 122 West and the beautification of this gateway and Highway 65 South in Mason City. These are major doorways to our community scheduled for major improvements. Just imagine these community doorways with beautiful tree plantings, green space, better lighting, and pedestrian access. Meanwhile, historic Mason City is a symphony of sights and sounds, showcasing restored buildings, beautiful housing, and vibrant breweries. Live music, recreation, a quiet moment in the park are all within easy walking distance. Three Bell Books is the first locally owned independent bookstore here in Mason City in more than a decade. All of this economic activity is generating record sales tax. Mason City took in $7 million last year, pacing nearly $1 million ahead of budget. The hotel motel tax is also on track for last year's record pace. Can we extend our appreciation to the members of the City Council and our great city staff for your outstanding work this year? Can we extend our appreciation? High-speed internet access is a key for attracting residents and businesses. Metronet is finishing installation of high-speed internet available to every home in Mason City sometime early this summer. Roads are as smooth as silk and as safe as a fortress with the reconstruction of 12th Street and Winnebago Way. You gotta be careful driving along there. It's so easy to speed. Chief Brinkley. Neighborhoods are more peaceful with the activation of our silent crossings along the north-south UP Railroad. Long overdue renovations to the city's nerve centers of protection. Our police and fire headquarters are now underway. A modern utility facility will help keep historic Elmwood St. Joseph Cemetery beautifully maintained in perpetuity. Construction will be done this year on a state-of-the-art airport terminal, on schedule, on budget. $13 million for the brand new airport terminal, most of that paid for with Federal Aviation Administration grants. This gateway to Mason City and the rest of the world is scheduled for this major update. Stay tuned for details on the ribbon cutting and opening coming up this summer We have members of the Airport Commission with us this evening. Thank you, David Sims, Gary Watnum, along with Joan Platts and David Kesko from the Airport Commission. Could you stand and be recognized? New Energy Freedom is partnering with Dow Incorporation to build the first of its kind in the United States refinery and research campus right here in Mason City. The world will be invited to Mason City to learn how to expand the green energy replacement of everything currently provided by oil refineries. Engineering work has already been completed. Groundbreaking will be early this year with operations to begin in 2025. We're excited about the partnership with NIAC and with Iowa State University. We're excited about the high-paying jobs. We're excited that North Iowa is once again leading the way. This is a $350 million investment in our community, 100 jobs, a biofuel manufacturing facility on the newly annexed area down in the southwest part of Mason City. One of many projects that our Economic Development Corporation has been working on this year. For their outstanding work, Chad Schreck, President and CEO, is here, along with some board members, Emily, and some others. Could you stand up and be recognized, please? You know, property taxes can be one of the largest expenses for homeowners. Keeping them low gives working families much needed financial relief. Low property taxes contribute to economic stability by attracting businesses to our area. On average, Mason City residents saw nearly a 2% drop in their most recent property tax bill. Mason City's overall budget was this year $82 million. That's down $14 million from the previous year, largely the result of anticipated completion of major capital improvement projects. By the way, the average annual increase in the budget of Mason City in the last 10 years has been 2%, below the Midwest Consumer Price Index and well below the state of Iowa budget, increasing by an average of 4% annually. The number one reason that women leave the workforce is a lack of child care. Starting today, help is on the way. Although the children care centers have physically the capacity to accept hundreds of more children, they do not have adequate staff. And there are, as you know, there are long waiting lists. 44% of child care positions are unfilled in Sarasota County. To change this, a local coalition has stepped forward. Once again, Mason City, North Iowa, leading the way, and raised $1 million to go toward a $2 wage boost and hourly for child care workers, for these vital child care workers. What all of this means is increased earning for parents and better health outcomes and learning for our children. Thank you to the Child Care Workers Collaborative, Colleen from the Chamber, Kelly from CG Public Health, child care providers, and others. Thank you for leading the way. Would you please stand and be recognized? There's a perception, I know it, there's a perception that crime is on the increase, but the reality is different. The tendency of disturbing crime scenes to go viral leaves a powerful but false impression. People never post about the many hundreds of packages that are received at their doorstep annually, but the one that doesn't get there goes viral immediately. In Mason City, there has been a significant decline in crime over the last year. Data from the Iowa Department of Public Safety shows a 9% decrease, despite an 8% increase in arrests in Mason City, despite Mason City experiencing shortages in the police department, worker shortages, similar to other police departments around the nation. The data shows a 5-year trend of decreasing crime in Mason City. I was asked on the KGLO radio, Ask the Mayor program, what is the cause of this decrease in crime? And simply put, community partnerships. That kind of partnership was on full display last year on May 17th when the dramatic example came when officers assisted by citizens were able to save the life of Joey Sherman. Can we show our appreciation to our great law enforcement and public safety officers, Chief Brinkley and Chief Bollinger, and all of our public safety personnel here tonight? Can you stand and be recognized? Can we show our appreciation? That's the facts. Now for the fun. We've seen incredible growth in outdoor recreation. People are flocking to the new Highline Trail following the ribbon cutting that you were all at this summer. The most recent issue of Rails to Trails magazine describes it as one of the 5 best new trails in the United States that opened in 2023. It's long been considered the missing link in the city's existing network of trails. The Highline offers a paved, elevated, north-south link between downtown and picturesque natural areas of our community, including the 440-acre Lime Creek Nature Center area and conservation area, linking East Park, Georgia Hanford Park, and the Destination Iowa Park. Speaking of the Destination Iowa Park, construction begins this spring on that new bike park. The Midwest's newest mountain bike destination will feature a beautiful prairie school-style 2-story shelter and trail network on Mason City's north side near Zerbel Trail. The closest similar attraction is northern Arkansas, which draws up to 1,000 bikers a week. Let's take a look. How about that? Meanwhile, design is nearly complete on Riverwalk to be a mirror reflecting the soul of our city. Also, construction begins this spring just south of Southbridge on the Riverwalk. We dedicated the new kayak launch along the Winnebago River this past summer and opened the historic Script Road Trail. It's amazing to say all of that in one breath. Any one of these gems could deserve a State of the City address on their own. Thank you, Matt from North Iowa Human Power Trails. Thank you, Steve, and the Active Living and Transportation Commission. Thank you, Jake and the Parks and Recreation staff and board. What you're doing will change lives for the better for decades here in Mason City. Would you please stand and be recognized? Mason City is also receiving national recognition, maybe you saw it, as a destination for the arts. A new PBS documentary describes the historic Park Inn as a mecca for art and architecture lovers. Overcoming obstacles and persisting through adversity, visionaries like former Mayor Gene Marinas and others have given us one of the most transformative historic restoration projects in the United States. Yet another television special, Meredith Willson, America's Music Man, showcases the legendary Music Man Square. This is being shown nationally. My brother called me last night and he said, "Hey, did you see it in Mason City on national TV?" I said, "Yes, I know about it. It's on public television." It started small with a band of passionate people, past and present. Tonight, Music Man Square draws tourists from across the country, most recently thrilling Tony Award-winning actress Sutton Foster during her visit. Thank you, Mayor Gene Marinas, President Perry Buffington, representatives from the Right on the Park, Nick and the Music Man Square Board, along with Joan and others from the Music Man Square Board. Can we show our appreciation? Would you stand and be recognized, please? That same national television special also tells the incredible story of the historic Charles VIII McNutter Museum. Describes it as one of the best American art collections in the Midwest. How true. A sidebar, growing up in Cincinnati, my only knowledge of Mason City was the art museum. My dad, the late artist William Schickel, exhibited stained glass there in the 1970s. Don't tell me that art does not attract people. Indeed, it's transformed Mason City. It's no wonder this area draws $100 million in tourism investments in a year. Let's show our appreciation to Director Edith Blanchard, President Scott Orcharding, board members Julie Kim and Kimber Clavin. By the way, admission is free at the Art Museum. Please stand and be recognized. More important than the physical infrastructure, all the great infrastructure that we've talked about tonight, is the human infrastructure that we're building in Mason City. The greatest source of our community pride is the River City way of seeking solutions through dialogue. The key is listening. He who knows only his side of the story knows little of that, the 19th century British philosopher John Stuart Mills wrote in his famous book on liberty, the classic work on the blessings of freedom. The Mason City way is to make our differences the key to coming up with answers. Again on Mill. On every subject on which there is a difference of opinion, it's possible to find solutions in the middle. And we see this kind of understanding in our schools. The Globe reports that there's been significant improvement in student-to-student and adult-to-student relationships. As Associate Superintendent Bridget Exman noted, it's evidence that when we target areas for improvement, we can and do make change. A shout out to Lincoln Intermediate Principal Dan Erges for his great work transforming school culture. Teacher Lisa Hughey and Heidi Grafton were also relentless in their efforts to make Lincoln an incredible place to work and learn. Can we show our appreciation? Would you stand and be recognized, please? In addition to so many great things happening here, of course, there are hard truths that we need to face. Drug addiction and mental health challenges, the devastating impact of inflation on hardworking families, projects that must be completed. We'll work towards solutions on those challenges one by one, the way we always do in Mason City together. We've seen evidence tonight on how actions by ordinary, passionate, ordinary people are changing the course of our community. Never underestimate your ability to be an influence for the good. If you don't mind, a personal story to illustrate the point. Once upon a time, the most influential person in my life was my neighbor. At a time when I was struggling in elementary school, Ed Ritter shared his love of ham radio. I can still remember when we built a crystal radio set together, hearing the crackling static on the radio change to the play-by-play of the Cincinnati Reds on 700 WLW is one of the thrills of my young life. My friendship with Ed didn't just help me improve as a student, it set the course of my life. Once upon another time, there was a shy young fifth grader. She was selected to be part of a leadership program. It was called Mayor for the Day. Unbeknownst to the mayor, this shy young girl was going through a really tough time at home. Flash forward. The girl and the mayor reconnect. She tells him the experience changed her life and gave her the first sense of confidence in her leadership gifts and skills. Today, that no longer shy young girl is a leader in our community as Campus Life Director for YFC. She's transforming people's lives, young people, not much different than she was many years ago. My friend Katie Zickafus, would you stand and be recognized? Here with her son tonight. Tonight, I'm challenging all of us to find the Ed and Katie in your life. Better yet, be the Eds and Katies in our community. Never sell short the power of your example. Your positive influence improves our community and improves our entire community. I might end my address tonight by going back to where I began. I opened by announcing that in the state of the city, teamwork is up, trouble is, do better than that. Teamwork is up, trouble is down. But we also learned what that means. Jobs are up, crime is down, we've seen record investment in our infrastructure, and River City is quickly being recognized as the recreation capital of the Midwest. Simply put, River City is booming. Thank you, congratulations, and God bless. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us this evening. We'll take a 10-minute recess so we can visit a little bit.
Last time I came out of Colorado, I said, that's it. There's a difference going back on my feet. Happy birthday.